Hey there in YouTube world, how are you today? Thanks for tuning in to Am Sport Videos. We actually are on time.
Yes.
That's like the first time in a really long time that we're actually on time. Um, Small miracles, I guess. Um, as always, I want to start off by thanking the ASV supporters, members to our channel for supporting us. I appreciate the support and hopefully we can continue to earn it. So, what do we got on the agenda tonight? Oh, with me is, in case you don't know, this is the producer of the show, also my wife Janice. In case you didn't know, I think most people know who Janice is. But she has taken some notes. It's just going to be her and I tonight going over a few things, and we'll see where it takes us. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. But so I know that this past week it's been a wild couple of weeks for that's for sure. This past week I finished up all the editing for the New England Championships. I was down in the Boston area to film that for Joshua Grant and his crew, and I finished that all up. I hope you people enjoyed those videos. There was a whack of classes. I think when I was checking out the results and counting up classes, there was like 44 different classes, and a little bit more work than I anticipated. I thought it was going to take me 30 to 40 hours to edit it, and it ended up taking me somewhere around 75 hours to complete the tournament, get everything edited, and anyway, it's done, and I hope you people enjoyed the videos. So what do you got for me?
You're going to talk about yesterday's Battle of the Atlantic?
Okay.
Parkside Pub?
So yeah, just yesterday we had Battle of the Atlantic number 22. Took place in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia at the Parkside Pub and Smokehouse. Some championship belt matches were going on, along with kids, juniors, amateur tournament, and then the pros took center stage after all that. And the big news of the day coming out of that, a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, that Rob McNamara put a bounty on Angela's arm. Any Atlantic Canadian that could beat Angela, he would pay them $200. Well, guess what happened yesterday? Left-handed Pauline Serkan from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, defeated Angela to become the new Battle of the Atlantic Women's Left-Hand Open champion, and she made an extra $200 for her troubles. So, and it was an amazingly exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, really exciting.
They stole the show, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Of all the belt matches, they stole the show because left-handed, it was just a war between the two of them.
We didn't know how it was going to go.
No, we didn't. And I thought not that Pauline won the match, but she made such huge gains and a huge victory by just stopping Angela off the go.
Yeah.
And which she hadn't been able to do in the past, so we thought that was great. And for someone who doesn't watch arm wrestling live,
no,
and Janice was there, and this was our first attempt at live streaming an event, which is posted up on the channel, and it seemed to go pretty good.
Yes.
And were you comfortable or uncomfortable being at an arm wrestling event for the first time in a while?
I was comfortable.
Yeah.
Because if people are in the proper position, I know nothing's going to happen. Nobody's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But if they start twisting but the refs are so good at telling people to look at their arm, and so I feel more confident, especially locally.
And everybody that pulled was fairly experienced.
Yes.
I don't want to overstate that, but everybody that was on the table for the championship belt matches had some experience.
Yeah.
There was no newbies. No quote unquote amateurs or novices, so these were all experienced pullers, varying degrees of experience as well. So I think that has to be easier for your comfort zone,
Yeah.
right?
And I know both of them too, which
Yeah,
helps.
yeah.
So, yeah, and it was exciting.
Did you find yourself cheering?
Absolutely, I did. Yes.
Cheering on
Yeah.
Pauline. And I'm sorry, and no disrespect to Angela. They always root for the underdog.
Yes.
Pauline was the underdog by a large margin.
Yeah.
And where you could hear people cheering for Angela. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But I think the majority of the crowd was in Pauline's corner. Like I said, they want to cheer for the underdog.
Well,
And,
we had both of those women here
Yep.
at this table
Yeah.
talking
That's
about
true.
how Angela never loses and she's got nobody to pull around here. And so I think that lit a bit of a fire. Pauline wanted it pretty bad, I think.
Yeah, and I guess only Angela knows for sure. Has she been putting in the right amount of work? Has she not? Only she knows for sure.
And what's next?
and
Where
yeah.
she goes next, yeah.
Well, hopefully, this really has lit a fire under her butt, and she's going to get herself going. What are you looking at?
Well, it's still spiraling
Where on the?
on the laptop. Oh, no, there we are. We're on my phone, so I think we're okay.
But not on the laptop. Just do a refresh.
Yeah.
And see what happens there. But we are on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good.
we,
We don't trust.
every week's an adventure. Every single week is an adventure. We thought we had this figured out. As I said, we did the live stream yesterday. I'm not a huge fan of live streaming events, but this it seemed to work out okay yesterday. And when I looked at a little bit of it once we got home last night, it seemed to be okay. For the most part, there's so much lag time in between matches that I, for one, who watches a ton of arm wrestling, get bored when you got to wait a couple of minutes in between matches. And we didn't have a dedicated commentator or anything. We were just,
Yeah.
and at the same time the matches were going on, Rick who normally does commentating and that, he was trying to do weigh-ins for the tournament, register everybody, collect the money. I think it was just a bit much, and I think we'll have to work on that and get him some extra help
More
at the
hands.
tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, if nothing else, somebody else could have done the weigh-ins and collected the money for him. That may have made things a little bit easier. He'd be on the mic and helping to make the show a little bit more exciting, because when there wasn't anybody cheering, it was a pretty dead little room.
Yes.
So, but the tournament seemed to go off pretty good. That was the big excitement was Angela and Pauline, and they stole the show. I think that's all we need to say about that.
Okay. Yep.
About Battle Atlantic, it was, yeah, and I know
More
Rick.
clips to come.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I have started editing already. Today, the first 3 clips went up. The kids clip went up first, and the junior clip, and then Trevor Weatherby versus Dylan Courier, right-handed. That championship lightweight championship belt match is up and posted already. Check it out. I edited that today. Dylan has some elbow issues during the match,
That's too bad.
which it kind of detracted a little bit from the match, but full marks to Trevor.
Yeah.
Check out the clip. It's actually not a bad looking clip. So I looked at it, and after we finish here tonight, I'll get back at editing and hopefully be able to post another 2 or 3 of those championship belt matches tomorrow. And I'd like to get all the tournament videos edited and posted. Give me 7 to 10 days at the most. I'm hoping that I'll have them done. I do want to have all that completed before we go away on our next road trip, which is coming up in 3 weeks? 2 weeks?
Less than 3 weeks.
Less
now.
than 3 weeks?
We leave
It's 3 weeks from yesterday's the tournament we're covering.
the 12th of November.
Yes, I'll be in Ottawa covering the Ottawa Open. I know that from the Atlantic area, the only one that the only ones I've heard about, I know Uncle Jonathan Thompson is going to be there being the MC for the day for Eric Roussin. And I know Phil Carty from down in Digby, he's going to make the trip. Some different hands for Phil to grip up with and get his name out there a little bit more, and maybe he'll surprise a few people. It won't surprise me, but maybe he'll surprise a few people.
Yeah.
But so that's our next trip. So we covered New England. That was a great trip. Appreciated the hospitality and the generosity that they showed me down there. Not just Josh and his crew, but all the pullers were pretty great to deal
Yeah.
with too. So
And the venue was good.
the venue was Dave and Buster's. I don't think I've ever been in a Dave and
No.
Buster's before.
It's
And
huge.
yeah, it's this is its own building. It's not just a restaurant in a strip mall. This was its own building, and it was a massive place.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of square footage they're going, but we took over two sections. There's like a dining
Yeah.
area and then a seated
Sports,
bar area. I guess for lack of a better word, where they don't play the games. But that place was packed all
Yeah.
day. And the crush of people trying, of course, arm wrestlers are always trying to get to the front of
Yes.
the stage or whatever so they can get the best seats in the house. Thankfully, the promoters let me get the best seat in the house. And so I thought the footage came out pretty good. I made a couple of errors myself. I chose not to turn on video lights, thinking that it might interfere with all the TVs they had on the screen. And my bad, I should have put on the lights. Just a couple of the tables were a little bit dark for my liking. Looking at the video, the quality was still pretty good, but I just didn't like how dark they were. Two tables were great. Other two tables weren't so great. Live and learn, I guess. So yes, so we got that all completed. It was a nice little getaway. We had hoped to stay in the Boston area for a couple more days, but the price of hotels was just outrageous this year. It was just insane. It almost seems like a lot of places are trying to make whatever money they lost during COVID lockdowns, they're trying to make it up right away. And I don't know. I don't think that's the proper way to go about things, but
No, it doesn't lure people out, that's for sure.
no, not at all.
Yeah, we cut the trip short.
Yeah, so instead
of
of
that.
staying there for a few extra days,
Yeah.
and we just ended up coming back home. So people in Atlantic Canada, you guys should consider putting that on your schedule for next year. Great tournament. You get to see a whole bunch of different arm wrestlers, a whole bunch of different levels of arm wrestling. You should put that on your docket for 2023. I don't have a date yet, but probably Josh sticks around October, so we should try that again next year, and be good for a group of Atlantic Canadian pullers to head there for that one. Okay, that covers that in the Battle of the Atlantic.
Yep.
What else do we got coming over? We're going away in a couple weeks. So
Yep.
I'm covering the Ottawa Open, put on by Eric Racine. That's November 12th, you said?
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll be driving up to Ottawa, leaving on the 10th, I think. Is that? Yeah, leaving
Yes,
the 10th.
the Thursday.
Get
Friday's
to
Remembrance Day. Yeah.
not a holiday in Ontario, which kind of surprises me. That's all. I'm just surprised.
Yeah.
But so we'll be getting there on Remembrance Day on the 11th. Check into the hotel and see who's around for weigh-ins. I know Erica's doing some weigh-ins on Friday night. We'll head over to the venue and see who's around and see what kind of mischief is going on. But not that we're going to get into any mischief. But so that's for that.
And Superman tournament.
I don't know the date. Did you happen to get the date?
It is November the
It's
26th.
okay. November 26th is what Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling puts on and bills as the Nova Scotia Superman Arm Wrestling event. One weight class for men, one weight class for women. For the women, it's triple elimination. The women have to lose 3 times, and for the men, it's quintuple elimination. You got to lose 5 times. That's insane. It makes for a long day. Excuse me. You figure it's right hand and left hand. Right hand and left hand, you got to lose 5 times, I guess, depending on. Rick has cut it short other years, cut it down from 5 to 4, like only because it takes so long sometimes. But he'll be running 2 tables. Excuse me, and well, it's a lot of fun. The event is a lot of fun for the arm wrestlers. So that's November. What did you tell me the date was? Oh,
26th.
November 26th, and that's in Truro, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there might be another basement battles in December.
Yeah, Timberley Gladiators.
December 6th.
No,
Tuesday? No.
no, it'll be on
Oh, it's the
Saturday. I
Saturday
think
the
it's
3rd?
December the 4th, is it?
Saturday's the 3rd.
Oh, okay. I think they were talking about December the 4th. The Timberlake Gladiators hosts, Rob and Angela McNamara, have hosted a bunch of basement battles that I've been there to film. And they were talking about doing one last little event before Christmas hit. And I only had, I think it was that weekend open.
Yeah.
Type of thing, because
Then we're away.
we're flying up to Ontario again. So, but yeah, so I think the plan was 4 or 5 right-handed matches and 4 or 5 left-handed matches as well for either a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, and so we'll film those and get them done. But I don't want you to rush your note to contact Angela and Rob. I think she had some ideas of her own of matchups that she wanted to try and make. So she's not seeking, or hasn't been up until now. She's not seeking input as to, oh no, I want a match and I want a match, and she always has people flooding her with requests. I'd like a match too. Well, I think she has a couple ideas what it is she wants to do. So that'll be a great way to end the year.
Yeah.
And then I think Rick has stuff already scheduled for after Christmas, for January, February.
Yeah, he was rhyming off dates, but we'll have to get those nailed down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all that I have scheduled for this year. At the Superman, where it's going to be 2 tables, I did not have any intention of trying to live stream any of it. I also don't know if the venue has internet service in there, or what kind of Wi-Fi signal they may or may not get. I don't have any idea about that right now. So it wasn't my intent to. I'm personally not a huge fan of live streaming arm wrestling tournaments. I decided to do it yesterday, Saturday, at the Battle of Atlantic, because there was a bunch of championship belt matches. I thought that might be okay to live stream, but live streaming a whole event is it's boring. It's long. This coming from a guy who spends every day of his life pretty well watching arm wrestling clips and editing, but I just find watching a live stream event is boring unless you have 2 really good commentators, and there's stuff there that's going to be interesting. Sorry, it's not for me. Not to say that it's not for everybody else, and for the most part, I just want to try it yesterday and then come home and have a look at it. For the most part, I'm not a big fan of some of the live streaming. Other than like you do big events like King of the Table or East versus West, they have commentators there. They're doing multiple camera angles, and it's more like a pay-per-view show, which is what it is. But I'm not a huge fan. So okay, what do you have?
So you've been quoted as saying that your Art Sport Videos YouTube channel is not about clicks and likes. So what is it about? What's the goal? What's the purpose? What are you after? What are you trying to accomplish?
I don't put stuff out just for clicks and likes, because if I was just interested in clicks and likes, I wouldn't put up complete tournament footage. Because unless you're involved in, like, I try and break down every tournament that I film by weight class. And unless you're involved in that weight class, most people don't tune in unless you know somebody or there's a matchup you wanted to see. Tournament footage doesn't generate a whole lot of likes or clicks or revenue. It just doesn't do it. However, I think it's a good historical record of where we are, where we've been. I think the archives on my YouTube channel go back as early as 1985, I think. I don't think I have anything before that. But for the most part, it's a pretty good record and history of arm wrestling in Canada. Whatever I could get my hands on from arm wrestling in the U.S. and arm wrestling in the world, I would, as long as I had permission to use it, I would try and post it. So I don't know. It's a good historical record.
Okay.
I don't know where else we would find it. I thought my actual website was a better way to save all the video clips and everything that I did, as opposed to YouTube. But that costs money every year, whereas YouTube doesn't cost money. I can put stuff up there. We don't think we're in any danger of YouTube going anywhere. It's such a great money generator for Google, for who owns it
Right.
now. So I guess it's preserving history of arm wrestling here in Atlantic Canada, and with the amount of content I have from other tournaments in the U.S. and from World Championships. I guess it's just a good history.
Mm-hmm.
One place, just kind of like what Eric Rousin has, the Arm Wrestling Archives, where everything you want to know about arm wrestling is in one place.
Right.
And he's done a really good job of chronicling the arm wrestling history throughout the years. And as far as I know, I have the largest arm wrestling library on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
The only other person I think that could rival me would be Igor Mazarenko, but he's not putting out all the video that he has. So I'm not sure if it's a private collection or whatever. I think he's the only person.
Okay.
The other guy that was really big in North America was Gary Roberts, but he's left arm wrestling again, and he's off and started a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he has a whack of stuff in his archives. I don't know if he has the same volume, the same amount that I do. I don't think so, only because I started in arm wrestling in 1985. This has been well documented. And Rick and I started filming, I believe, in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
So we filmed every tournament that we could get to and wherever we were going. And then until I had a little bit of health troubles, and then I couldn't arm wrestle anymore, I just started taking pictures, and that led to me filming. I wish I knew way back in the 80s and early 90s, I wish I knew as much about trying to put up and preserve a good quality video image as I do now, because some of that early stuff is really, really hard to watch at times. But it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. And I've been incredibly lucky with the support of amazing and generous arm wrestlers and promoters out there, and they've donated and given me permission to use a whack of old VHS tapes and 8mm tapes that we've spent the money to get converted to digital images, or even just to DVDs, and I can convert it myself. VHS tapes I can do myself. I still have working VCRs and working DVD players and writers. The only thing, and mini DV digital videotapes I can process on my own. I can't process the 8mm tapes. I no longer have a working camera that can play them, and unless I have some upstairs right now that are waiting to be converted, but I don't know what's on them. I don't want to go and spend the money to have them converted and find out it's somebody's home movies or their dog or their baby. I guess they would probably want them, but so I don't know if I've answered your question or not, but
it's okay. You're giving me a good segue though into my next
Okay.
thing, because I've got a list of the things that you've experimented with
yeah, okay,
over the years. I'd like your reaction to some of those.
okay.
So you've talked about tournament footage generally.
Yeah.
Tell us about the In Focus shows that you used to do.
The original In Focus
The
shows?
original In Focus shows.
It was just me sitting down with people and doing an interview, basically, or having an arm wrestling conversation. I think the very first one I did was with Rick Pinkney, and I think we sat in our backyard and talked for like 2.5 hours. And I just filmed it all, and then I broke it down into different segments. And at the time that I started that, and I don't remember what year I started that, nobody was doing anything like this.
No.
Now with YouTube and the Zoom calls and everything, everybody and their dog can do these things, right? And I had done that, and look, I've been really lucky to get to travel around and interview guys like Rick When Fred Roy was the president of the CAWF and the WAF, he never turned me down. I just always would ask. But I think these guys also knew I didn't have any hidden agenda. I am not trying to railroad somebody. I'm not trying to a la 60 Minutes them. Right? Just let's have a conversation. Tell me what's going on. I don't think I'm a good interviewer, but we can have a conversation about things. I'm not afraid to talk, but and look, I got to sit down and chat with Cleve Dean before he passed away. I was a huge fan. I remember watching him on ABC's Wide World of Sports back when I was a youngster, way back in the 70s. I got to talk with David Randall from the U.S. I got to talk with Leonard Harkless, Frank Bean, Devin countless times. Devin Larratt, who's just immensely popular in arm wrestling. I got to talk with him a few times, and I had a lot of fun with it over the few years that I did it. But I started to get bored. Because what more questions could I ask people, and who else am I supposed to talk to? And and everybody was very gracious with their time. When we first started being able to do what was it before Zoom? You could make phone calls on your computer. Skype, right? I did a Skype interview with John Brzezinski. Right. Because nobody was doing these type of things, and I figured how to do it, and I can remember John saying, "Scott, I'm getting an echo." I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing here, John. So just bear with me. But so that was the original intent of the InFocus, and then if you remember, we changed it.
It became a news show.
Magazine show.
The state of arm wrestling kind of thing. The latest.
It was a
updates,
monthly, and we were doing
rankings.
Oh, guys would get married. I'd get them to send me a marriage photo. Right, and shout out to whoever and their new spouse, and doing that. Birthdays. We would run a schedule. When I would go to Worlds, I interviewed some people that had won. I can remember. I had them lined up. There was Dave Hicks. There was Silvio Borg. There was Camilla Katström from Sweden, living in Germany. They'd all just won gold medals, and I just had them lined up, and let's have a little chat. And then I got Leonard Harkless off to the side of the stage, and nobody ever said no. Everybody was just more than willing to give me their time, and it's not like I don't want a whole day. Just give me 10 minutes. And then I would try and piece these all together. We had sponsors for the show. Right. And then I would have you do voiceovers for thanking our sponsors for the show. And we would go out on location to do intros. Right? We were down the boardwalk, and these people were walking by, and I'm talking. I've got my lapel mic on, and we got a camera set up, and I'm standing there talking to a camera.
About arm wrestling.
And people are walking by like, does this guy think he's important? When I was embarrassed. A lot of the times. It was just to have a different setting. It was more interesting. And it was a very new, unique thing done. That we didn't have any idea again what we were doing. We were just if anybody was interested. No, and then the response I got was overwhelming. I couldn't believe it. And then there's a guy out there now. Pradeep, I think it is, and he's doing it's called the Arm Wrestling News or something. And somebody came up with, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, nobody's ever done this kind of thing before." And a couple of my supporters and personal friends of mine got on there and saying, "What are you talking about? Scott did this 15 years ago. Try something new." Right? No, don't try anything. Like try something new. Try rehashing whatever. It's all good. What does not interest me is doing Zoom calls and Zoom interviews. It does not interest me at all. And I know everybody's doing it, and there's people out there that are doing an amazing job, and they're putting out great stuff. And how else could you get, like, you look at who Uncle John has on his screen. How else is he going to get in a room with some of these guys? Neil Pickup's got at one time, he's got Engin from Turkey, he's got John Brzezinski from the US, he's got Devin from Canada, all at the same time, all having an arm wrestling discussion. And I've watched some of them, and poor Neil, I don't know how you've got 3 or 4 guys all trying to talk at once. You know yourself. You
Mhm.
guys, you do Zoom calls for work.
Yeah.
And how does anybody get a word in edgewise? I mean, do they have a system? Do you put up
Yes.
your hand to talk?
Yes.
But on the arm wrestling
No.
shows, they
Yeah.
don't do that.
Right.
I've been
Free
watching.
for all.
I've been watching Evan Burgoyne's stuff at
Oh,
times.
yeah. Yep.
No, and so Evan will ask a question, and somebody starts answering it, but Evan hasn't finished asking the question yet, and so somebody starts answering it,
Yes.
somebody else jumps in, and then you
Yeah.
can't hear anything.
Right.
And for that reason alone, it doesn't interest me.
Which is how we got to Table Talk Live.
That's how we got to Table
In
Talk
our
Live.
home.
Yeah, in our dining room at home. Every week's been an adventure. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. What I want to know is because the frustration is really starting to mount on the both of us. And then when we have a guest in our home that we're going to talk to, Janice gets frustrated with me. I get frustrated with her being frustrated at
Yeah.
me. And we're both frustrated with the friggin' equipment
Yeah.
that is
Yes.
not working. And I
Trying not to snap at each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're doing something basically wrong. We're not sure what it is, but it hasn't worked out the way we thought it would. We thought we were doing some research, purchasing the necessary things that we needed to, and I think we got 2 weeks in a row that it actually worked fine, and then after that it hasn't
Yeah.
worked. It hasn't worked since. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the In Focus shows.
Okay. And Table Talk Live. Really.
And Table Talk
We've
Live,
covered-
we've covered that
we
as
did
well.
that.
Yep.
So, and this falls into the heading of what is it that people want, right? So you've done spotlights on arm wrestlers, you've done feature matches,
Yep.
you've done legends compilations.
Let's start with the legends.
Okay.
Let's just start with the legends. So I picked out 12 different arm wrestlers who, in my mind only, after being around for all these years, in my mind only, these are legendary pullers, legendary accomplishments. Now, I've said this online, and I'll say it again now. The word legend is highly overused.
Yeah.
So I picked out who I thought were legend, the likes of John Brzenk. Can anybody deny that John Brzenk has had a legendary career and is a legend arm wrestler?
Yeah.
John, Dave Hicks, he may be like my all-time favorite pullers.
Mhm.
I love Dave Hicks.
Yeah.
As a person,
Yep.
as an arm wrestler, one of my favorite guys on the planet.
Wow.
Just amazing, amazing guy. I love being able to see Dave and hang out with him. And just look, he's got this infectious smile that lights up a whole bloody room.
Yes.
And he's so much fun to be around. Always laughing and carrying on. Just a great guy. Anyway, I could go on with Dave for about a half hour. But so I picked out 12 people who I thought. They did not get the response I thought they would.
No.
No, so now recently, since I started a Facebook channel for arm sport videos, and I've been putting them up. They're not on the YouTube channel, so the people that think that I'm all about the money and the likes and everything, it's on Facebook. There's all these Legends clips. I just finished posting the last one, which was on Rick Pinkney, for free on Facebook.
Mhm.
So I don't make any money. This isn't about clips. This is about exposure.
Right.
And I think each one of these pullers deserves the exposure. I was disappointed in the numbers of views that they got while on YouTube. And folks, you have to have such huge numbers to make any money. This is not about money for me. There's no way, as I just said, I think the New England Championships, it took me around 70 plus hours to get that completely edited and posted. You think I'm going to make them any money on that 70 hours I've invested? But for me, that's not about it. I'm glad that the people that came to that tournament in New England enjoyed the clips. I'm glad that Josh had me down there to film for him. And he did make mention about going back again next year. Like it's all good. It's great. But the Legends, I thought, should have got more play.
Yeah.
I think. So that's why I decided to put them on Facebook for free as well. And you know what? Maybe they'll get each one will get another few thousand views, just so that the people know who we're dealing with. Like Rick Pinkney. Rick Pinkney and I have been friends for like 35 plus years. Arm wrestlers today don't know what a friggin' badass he was on the table. 2 different times he finished second place at the Worlds. He's got Canadian titles. He's been arm wrestling forever.
Yeah.
And he was a bad dude on the arm wrestling table. It's like when we had Rob McNamara in here.
Yes.
People don't have a clue how good he was.
Yeah.
And I could harp and talk about it all I want, and I could tell people you need to learn your history. So that's why I started this.
Yeah.
It wasn't just to show Cleve Dean was this, John Brzenk was this guy. I tried to show John over various years of his career. I mean, I was in the room when the big Russian, the next great puller, Denis Saplenkov, no one was going to beat Denis. I showed up in Poland. I'm hanging out with Timmy and Christian. We go to the weigh-ins for the Nemirov Cup, the Zloty tournament, and we walk into a parking garage. And we're looking at each other and we're laughing like, you got to be kidding me. We're in a parking garage. The next night, that parking garage was transformed into this room, and John and Denis square off at the table. I have never been in a room that was more electric in my whole life. It was amazing. So to show John when he was young, like in his early 20s, and then to show him towards the end of his career, he was having shoulder troubles, he needed surgery, blah, blah, blah. But the show he put on with Denis was truly amazing for me. It was, I was all tingly watching this. And me and Christian Binney were bouncing in our chairs, and we had a great time. But this all goes back to the legends, I think, need more airtime.
Right. It's important to you.
It's important to me, and I think it really is important for, I think, these new pullers to learn their history.
That's not why people get into arm wrestling, though.
No, it isn't.
To learn history.
No, but it's entertaining as hell.
Well,
it's entertaining. Some of this old footage is entertaining. I put up that small clip of making a joke, the end of the strap in arm wrestling. I came across this old tournament footage, and at the time the referee didn't have a strap, and these two guys slipped out, so they taped them together. Yeah. And I thought it was hilarious, and I put up this clip, and people didn't know. Even people that actually know me didn't know if I was being serious or if this is a joke. Well, it was all tongue-in-cheek.
Yes. Every
single bit of it. I guess I'm a better actor than I thought. I don't have any idea, but I think the history of arm wrestling is incredibly important. I now see. So I built this huge library. I think we're up to like 3,400 clips on YouTube or something. But now I see Leonard Harkless and Denise Waddles have given Brad Cook a bunch of their old archived footage that they have, and he's been, what is that? I think he labeled his The Vault.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And Brad Cook is one of my favorite video guys. Yeah. He does some great stuff. But he started putting out some old vintage.
Yes.
I just call that stuff in my memory bank.
Right.
Right? But he's putting out some stuff that's vintage that he got from Leonard and Denise. Okay. And it strikes me different than it's striking some other videographers. Some other videographers were, when I'm getting old stuff, they're a little bit jealous. And I'm going like, why? So Brad gets this. I think it's great.
Yep.
Share some more old footage.
Yeah.
And look, and I've contacted different people about getting your old footage, and sometimes you get some, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
So that was the Legends. That was the Legends clip.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Spotlights and feature matches. Anything to say about those?
The feature matches, I don't. Between you and I, we can't figure out what the YouTube audience actually wants to watch.
This is an ongoing discussion.
Some videos hit boom.
I don't get it.
1,000 views in like a few hours, and then others that you think, okay, this is going to be a good clip. It's nothing.
Blips. Yeah.
So are people out there interested in feature matches? Are they interested in the spotlights that I'm no longer doing anymore? I did a whack of spotlights. They just didn't seem to attract a good audience.
No.
So I mean, an age take time. I have to find all that footage in amongst all this stuff and find something that's going to highlight them pretty well. Even overseas guys that I thought would really hit well.
No,
Didn't hit that well.
this is part of our confusion.
Yeah. So, and I understand. I guess I could dig up every Devon clip that I have, and just and try and build your name on Devon's
Yeah.
Devon's name, which I've watched other people do, but that's just not who I am or what I'm about.
Yeah.
Now, if I have a clip of Devon,
Yes.
I don't mind putting it out there, and I'm a huge Devon fan. I've been friends with Devon for over 20 years, like no issues, and I wouldn't boycott or anything. But I'm not trying to make my reputation
Yeah.
using somebody else's name.
Yeah.
So.
We're putting his name in every title of every video.
Yeah, which I've watched people do that, and my understanding of YouTube and the rules were you couldn't just use his name unless he was actually in the clip. But I don't know anything about this stuff. So, and the feature matches, I still have a bunch of feature matches that I have all prepared and ready to go. I'm still not against those because some hit really well, some don't. I understand where I live. We're here in Atlantic Canada. The rest of the world's a big outside place, so they haven't heard of a lot of the guys from Atlantic Canada. However, I'm not going to shy away from featuring the Atlantic Canadian pullers.
Yeah.
Now, I did remember seeing someone was talking about Dylan Courier was in a Battle Atlantic match, and a guy from Ontario, great puller, Matt Smith, great young arm wrestler, just the Iron Man in arm wrestling in Ontario, and said, Matt Dillon's belt would look good around my waist. Come on down, Matt. I'm sure we could work something out, right? Come on down if you want a shot at Dylan. I don't know, show you what belt Dylan has. So no, only because I was there yesterday, but I don't really remember. I'm busy working, so I don't really know exactly what happened. But it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. But if you want a match, just you know what, contact me, contact Rick Pinkney, and I think we'd be happy to have some outside blood come in. Absolutely.
Yep.
John Terrian was down here. He moved to Nova Scotia originally, and made a big splash here.
Yes.
I did get to watch his Arm Wars match. John is such a good guy. He's so much fun to watch. And now I think he's got a match in Texas in a couple of weeks,
right.
And and good for him. But I'm back to your original question because I ramble on. The feature matches I am going to continue with.
Yeah.
So I have some different plans for some of the feature matches, but we can get into that a bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, and the spotlights, I'm not doing any more spotlights.
No.
They didn't seem to attract any audience. A couple of people, a guy that's always been a pretty good supporter, Jody Williams from the West Coast of the U.S. He was a fan of the spotlights. He loved watching Cobra.
Yes.
If I put it one in him. He loved watching Earl Wilson.
Yeah.
And Jody was so, but there won't be. I'm not preparing any more spotlights.
Okay.
All right.
So talk about shorts. YouTube shorts.
YouTube shorts, yes, not shorts you wear, but YouTube shorts.
Yes.
So I'm watching this, and in your YouTube feed, as you're scrolling through videos, there came across a section of shorts. Now, not being the very literate computer people, I find it funny that people think I'm a computer guy. I'm not at all. Anyway, so it took us a few weeks to figure out how to put a short together. And these are just quick hitters. They have to be less than a minute long. And so I've taken some of the old feature matches I've done and just try to give them some new life as shorts. But as I'm going to steal your phone for 1 second here, but for years I've been telling people you need to shoot with your phone this way so I can use the video. And now all of a sudden, what do shorts want? They want it this way. So now I do have somebody that does some filming for me, Angela McNamara, and she gives me her footage so I can blend it in with mine at times. So I got her to switch her phone and using it the landscape, and now of course I need them for shorts and I need everything portrait. So of course I can't make up my mind what I want. So we're just trying to breathe some new life into some of these old feature matches, and I have a couple of extra phones that I experimented yesterday. I just put a phone in my pocket and just walked around and shot with the
Hmm.
portrait style, not landscape style, and have developed those into a couple of shorts that will be up shortly. I'm hoping
Shortly,
yeah.
And some of them take off like crazy.
Well, we
And
had
others
a
just
recommended
little-
one with
Yeah.
a couple of friends of mine. Alan Fisher from the East Coast was pulling Jimmy Fitzsimmons, who I was just chatting with down in Boston, and it got on the recommended menu somehow. And we went from like having 10 views to 1,000 in less than an hour. And then we're looking, going, what the hell is going on here? Next thing you know, we're at 2.1 thousand.
Yeah.
I'm going like, now, I know for big name people like Brezink and Devin, any video they
Those
put
are-
out is getting 10,000 views, but it doesn't happen to little old me. So
It was exciting.
it was, and it
But
was.
then you can't replicate it. You don't know, you can't just make that happen.
We don't know what's going to hit and what's
No.
not going to hit. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I know I had some stuff contributed to me, and I had some shorts developed out of this footage that was donated to me, and I was given permission to use it. But then I find out that the guy who actually shot the video doesn't want it used.
Right.
Right. Well, I had no idea that I couldn't use this. But once I found out, so I just deleted the ones I had prepared. He doesn't want me to use his footage. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to make any enemies or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's his footage.
Mhm.
Look, I have the same issues, but my issues are a little bit different. I have no problem if I'm using somebody else's footage to give people credit.
Mhm.
What I'm finding is people are taking my video, they're cropping out my logo and putting their own in. In one case, they just put their logo right over top of mine
Mhm.
and pretended it was their footage. Well, I know you weren't there because I was the only one in the room filming,
Yeah.
right? So it can't be yours. And I have no problem sending in a
Recording.
copyright claim to YouTube. Just ask for permission. I don't think I've turned anybody down. So
Just credit. That's all
yeah,
you want,
that's
right?
all we're looking for.
Yeah.
And it's not me. It's not, you don't have to give credit to Scott McGinnis. It's Our Sport Videos that is doing it.
So shorts are working.
They
kind
seem
of.
to be.
It's an interesting thing in the mix, at
Yeah.
least, right? On
Yeah.
top of what you're already doing.
They seem to be working so far, but
An enhancement, we'll call it.
okay, but
I think it is.
only the viewing audience will know for sure. The viewers, you need to tell me, leave me comments, send me a note in the chat, leave a comment on videos, just tell me what it is you're interested in. If you're watching this video, just leave a comment in the comment section to tell me what you'd like to see.
Yep. For some reason, there is no chat on this live show.
There's no chat tonight.
So that's this week's glitch, is
Wow.
there is no live chat.
Okay,
So we got some thumbs up though, so
Okay.
people are-
wow.
All right,
You know what, and that's
tonight-
probably me. I don't usually set up the shows and that. I tell Janice, who does produce this show, I tell her, okay, make sure that we have live chat and
yeah,
all that, and of course, I set this one up so
Messed it up.
we don't have live chat. Okay,
so you can't, there's no Q&A.
there's no Q&A at
After
all.
the fact,
Yeah.
you can ask questions.
Ask questions, and I will come on. I mean, I do get notifications when there's comments. I will come on and answer you.
You'll find a way.
Yeah, one way or
So,
another.
yeah, just want to clarify that in
So what
real time.
one of the things I want to know is I am actually contemplating not continuing with live shows.
Yes.
I'm actually contemplating going out and filming, and then just premiering it like Sunday night at 7:00. Because of all the trouble we've had doing live shows.
Yep.
I don't know if it's worth the aggravation. And then, I mean, nothing is more embarrassing than I have guests sitting in my dining room and we can't get anything to friggin' work, right? A couple
It's
times
been rough.
we've ended up scrapping everything and just bringing the laptop over,
Yeah.
setting it on the table, and we're talking into the laptop. It
This is
doesn't.
our 14th.
This is the
so.
14th show. I think I've had 2 that have worked exactly the way I wanted them to.
Yeah.
2.
Too.
Yeah.
Because now this one's on that list.
Well, now, yeah,
Oh.
this one's shit the bed too because it's
We can't talk to anybody who's watching.
yeah. Okay, so that
So-
takes care of that.
There you go. So that's shorts. So
Yeah.
shorts will continue because
That's the plan right now. It seems
it's
to be
not
working.
hard. it's a little extra
No, it's extra
to
work.
reformat.
You have to
and
reformat.
repost things. But
Yeah, and I have to, a lot of my feature matches, because I put in music and I put in a slow motion replay. Well, I have to be under a minute.
Yeah.
1 minute is the maximum
Yeah.
time on YouTube
It's
Shorts.
amazing what you can get into a minute, though. Yeah.
You can, you really can
Yeah.
get a fair amount. So for now, unless somebody tells me differently, the YouTube Shorts will continue.
Right.
Yeah.
So next is the thing that our daughter finds hilarious is the fact that you're on TikTok.
I can't believe myself that I have a TikTok account. I really cannot believe it. So there's not that many videos up there. There's 9 or 10.
Okay.
Right? And they took
I
off.
don't know because I'm not on TikTok.
You're not on TikTok. Only I'm on TikTok. So, and look, no, and I know there's people that are getting tens of thousands of views, and there's people making money on this, and they have thousands of subscribers, and the conditions for you to actually make money
Oh, yeah.
are
Huge.
Amazing. Yeah, you got to have these
Huge
huge numbers. That I don't know if anybody in arm wrestling outside of Brezink, Devin, is anybody going to get the kind of numbers that they want? I don't have any idea. But anyway, I've started a TikTok channel. I have started posting some videos. Some have hit pretty good.
Yes.
Some haven't hit very well at all. And again, I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Why does this video hit and this other one doesn't? Janice and I were out the other night. We had some family performing at a bar. So I went and shot a couple of videos and just put together a little clip for them, and they liked it, but hardly anybody watched it on TikTok. I got 38 views or something. But I guess you have to build from something, and you have to build somewhere. I have next to no followers, so 9,
Another
10 followers. Yeah, it's just an experiment, and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I don't have any idea.
Right.
But when I got home last night, I walked around with my phone camera yesterday and shot things specifically for Shorts or TikTok.
Right.
I did air a video last night from the Battle of the Atlantic. I put up on TikTok. And it was of Trevor Weatherby and Dylan Courier. One little short, I think it's a 25 or 30-second clip.
Okay.
Just shows one match.
Yeah.
There's no replays. There's no introduction.
No
There's it's just there. I put in a title that says Battle of the Atlantic. And it did great at first, and then just, so
we don't know how it works.
I don't have any idea what I'm doing.
You put it out in the world and hope for the best.
And see but you know what though? There's people that are putting everything they put out in the world of TikTok, the world of YouTube, hits for them. So, and how the algorithms work and all this, I don't understand any of this crap. None of it at all.
No.
And Janice does most of the research for me. I want to try this. How do we do it? And so she does the research because I don't have the patience. And so I follow whatever instructions she does, and sometimes it works great, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. We're not afraid to try, but man, it's
you get frustrated with failing each time that you try to do
we're confused
something.
a lot of the time because we don't actually know what's happening and why.
Yeah. So there's a TikTok channel. Go to TikTok.com, and I'm at Armsport Videos. Same with the new handle on YouTube, because I just filled out the form on YouTube. So now go to YouTube, and you don't have to do a search. Just type in @ sign Armsport Videos, and that'll take you right to my page.
Yeah.
And everybody's getting to create their own unique handle. Well,
yes. All right.
on YouTube. So I already have a unique enough handle.
That's right.
So at Armsport Videos on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, and I long have given up on Instagram. There didn't seem to be any payoff for Instagram. I tried it for months and it was putting things up daily.
Yeah.
But no, it just didn't seem to. It didn't seem to work for me for video. Now I see people are starting to put up videos on Instagram, but I'm not going back.
No.
Well, no, I have enough work in front of me with just filming some tournaments, editing that. I'm just about done on my stack of of the archives. I've got one tournament left
Yeah.
to post,
Yeah,
and then I'll be relying
Up to date.
solely on new content.
right.
So, and I understand why people don't watch a whole lot of tournament footage.
Yeah.
But the super match footage that I'm doing, I don't know, I think the super match footage is pretty credible.
Mhm.
It's trying to add in slow motion replays and music, and while we're at an event filming, I try and walk around with my phone as well and get close ups on things. So I think the super match footage is pretty good, but tournament footage is what it is.
Right.
And I'm not going to get away from it because I still think it's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And it's important. Everybody that shows up to a tournament is important.
Right.
And what if I'm the only one that has footage? If you just started arm wrestling and you end up being 16-time world champion, and I'm the only one that was there filming it,
Oh yeah.
right?
That's right.
Like I mean, from the beginning of Joyce King's career,
Yes.
I have everything.
Well, and you've had people reach out to you. People unfortunately passed away, and you've compiled footage that you have of them.
Yeah.
You've gone back at least a couple of times that I can think
A
of.
few times. Heidi Anderson from Sweden reached out to me and asked me to put together.
She didn't pass away.
No, she did not. Oh, please, no,
Just-
oh, please,
That's how
no.
rumors get started.
Yeah, no.
No.
But she reached out to me with footage that I had, so I put together something for her, and she overpaid me.
Yes. Oh, that's right.
She overpaid,
Yeah.
but she was
Nancy
so.
Locke? Nancy
I
Locke.
did a bunch for Nancy
Phil
Locke.
Stopper.
Phil Stopper reached out and asked if I put together
Yeah.
something for him.
Although this isn't a call out. For
No,
that kind of work.
it's
This is
not
a-
because
This is a reinforcement of the archive that
Yeah.
you have footage that other people don't.
that other people really
It's a
don't.
lot of work.
I had people send me notes. They knew that Gary Goodrich was this badass MMA fighter and started off in the UFC. And I started putting up clips of him and Brzezinski and him and Cleve Dean. And they reached out to me. I never knew Gary Goodrich was this good. Gary, for a couple of year period there, before he went to the MMA fighting, Gary Goodrich was a beast. He was the man. Nobody could touch him.
Yeah.
Went on a couple of year tear and he was amazing. He was truly, truly amazing. But it is nice to go back and look at that. And I was trying to do the same sort of thing with these spotlights.
Yes.
But they just didn't seem to catch on.
No, and it is a lot of work to go back and drag
Well, it is,
the
especially,
pieces together.
not that I'm expecting, each one I put together is going to make me $500. But when you put one up and it gets like 25 views
Yeah.
in a couple of days, then
You gotta
it's,
wonder.
yeah. So finally, I just said, it seems like I'm wasting my time
Yeah.
because people aren't interested in them. So why am I going
Yeah.
to
Move on to something else.
something else?
TikTok.
TikTok. I
Who knew?
I wish I could have. I wish you could have seen my daughter's face when I told her I had a
Funny.
TikTok account. She's just shaking her head, and I can't believe you're telling me this. But it was funny. So
Yeah. I think
yeah.
it helps the exposure. It's where the people are. You got to go to where the people are, right?
For the longest time, I resisted Facebook
Oh, wow.
and didn't want to be on Facebook.
That's going back a ways.
Well, it is going back, and it was Mark Zalepa.
Yeah.
Yeah, just beating away at me, I think, and that's where everybody is, Scott. I had to keep in touch with people, and
Yes.
because back then we were still using message boards, the
Oh,
Northeast
right.
message
Oh,
board and the
yes.
Canadian Arm Wrestling message board, and
Right.
that's how we were chatting with people and having discussions online.
That's right. Yeah.
And then, and when I first started using Facebook, even now for my YouTube channel, Facebook is not a big help.
No.
No, because I can trace where people are coming from,
Mhm.
and I'm getting very few people coming from Facebook clicking on the links that I put out there.
Yeah.
They're not coming from Facebook. Excuse me. So eventually, and that's why I started the Arm Sport Videos page on Facebook. That is the only place I'm going to post links, is on my Arm Sport Videos Facebook page.
Okay.
Right now, I share them with Canadian Arm Wrestling, and
Oh, right.
International
Yes,
Arm
you got
Wrestling,
this
Arm
long
Wrestling's,
list of
or Arm
groups.
Wrestlers Only, and
Yes, yes,
you know,
yes.
and I'm not going
Every
to.
day you're sharing links.
Yes, and it's just there's zero payoff.
Yeah.
I think the last time I checked, it was around 1.3% of all my views
Oh,
were
wow.
coming from links on Facebook.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it does seem I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
So that will be stopping, not yet, but it will be stopping probably by the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to post I will post them on my Iron Sport Videos Facebook page. So that'll be the only place you're going to get notifications of new,
Right.
unless you're a subscriber to the channel or a member of the channel, then you'll get notifications via YouTube.
Right.
But probably by the first of the year, I will no longer post to all these different groups.
Mm.
So join the Iron Sport Videos Facebook page. It doesn't cost anything. You just become a member of the page, and you'll get notifications of what I'm posting that way.
So you tried live streaming in the event yesterday,
Yeah.
part of it. So what's the future of live streaming events?
I don't know. I
We're
have
gonna
no
have to wait
idea.
and see.
Yeah, I have no idea. As I
Not
said,
tournaments, we know that, but maybe,
maybe if there's like things like Battle of the Atlantic,
yeah,
we can set something up and live stream the super match part of it. We could probably live stream like from basement battles in Timberlake.
Yeah.
The only thing is, it's where it's located. I take over. There's the arm wrestling table, the two referees, and the two competitors. I take over the rest of the room.
mhm,
So this time I've asked Angela if I could set up 4 cameras to have a 4-camera shoot, and then if I want to add another one to do live streaming,
oh wow,
yeah, no one else gets in the room.
no,
Nobody. And they don't even really get to watch because I've got almost access to
Yeah.
you just have to see the way it's set
About
up.
capturing it,
It is about capturing it, and I love the grittiness and the darkness and how the videos feel, because it's a dark basement. We use one light,
Yeah.
not my video lights or anything. And I like how it comes across, and it looks like it's almost
underground,
but it's what the Game of Arms was trying to. They were going to these abandoned
Oh, yes.
warehouses and things, and what they're trying to create artificially out there. I have
yeah,
in Robin Angela's basement in this one room where the arm wrestling takes place.
Yeah.
And I think it looks great. They've been happy with how it looks. The arm wrestlers seem to have a good time. It's not great for spectators.
no,
It's not great for spectators at all.
Yeah.
And it might not be great for
It's a-
streaming.
a production,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
maybe not,
on a much smaller scale, but it's kind of like what Neil Pickup is doing with his Arm Wars now.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have the budget. I don't have the producer and the director that Neil's hooked up with, and he's doing like some amazing,
Impressive, yeah.
amazing video clips. So we don't have that kind of budget. Actually, we don't have any budget. But I like the way it looks.
yeah.
I really like the way it looks. And look,
But
even
a
if
good experiment yesterday, though.
it was a good experiment.
It's nice to know that's
It worked.
it's an option.
Well, it worked for what I wanted to put out there,
Yeah.
and it's got some views. It's got a couple hundred views. I'm not sure what exactly it's at. It was 180.
Close to 200, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
It's got some views.
Since
and-
yesterday, that's not bad.
Yeah. So, and I mean, and speaking of the way things look, I mean, I got Rick in Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling to buy big banners, so we have a good background. I've watched other people's things, and you're in a bar, and it looks like you're in a bar.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be able to see people 30 feet past the arm wrestling table. So Rick bought a stand, and he has a nice big Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling banner. I just think it looks better.
Yeah.
Gives a nice background. You can't see people.
It's not distracting.
Yeah, people walking around
Yeah.
behind, and even the stuff I shot yesterday. I noticed when I'm editing the footage, I'm standing up on
Yes.
stage in front of the banner.
Being
So-
conspicuous.
Yes, and I have that privilege. Nobody else
Nobody
in the room
else.
has that privilege,
Yeah.
but I have that privilege. But for me, it's about how things look.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Rick and Rick has taken that and run with it. And as the president of the CAWF as well, he's doing the same sort of thing. We have a nice backdrop now for the tables to be up against. So when I'm shooting for the Canadian Nationals, it looks better as opposed to just being in the middle of a hall and having all these people,
Yes.
walking and doing whatever they're doing. I like the look. I hope people watching the videos like the look better as well.
All right. It's 8:05.
Oh my Lord, really? I can't believe we're over again.
So we've talked about what's coming up next.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. What more would you like to say?
I don't know. We do need to hear from the viewers.
Some feedback.
Yeah, about what it is you would like to see me act, and be realistic too. If you have suggestions, please. One thing I'm never ever going to do is have a camera looking straight down over top of the table. I hate that look. I'm not going to do it. And in order to set it up and do it, you have to buy staging and like no. I'm not interested
You don't
in it.
even like
I don't like the
it.
look of it. No.
So.
Not one bit.
No.
So I've done spotlights and we do feature matches, and now I'm doing little TikTok matches and little shorts. I don't know what else I can put up there.
People seem to watch these table talk shows more than
we ever thought they would.
they're interested in hearing people talk about arm wrestling.
Well, and you know what? There's a bunch of people out there now that's all they do is talk about arm
Yes.
wrestling on their YouTube channels.
Yes.
They don't actually arm wrestle.
No.
They don't actually film any arm wrestling.
No.
They just sit around and talk about arm wrestling, and people are buying it up. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
okay, it's
Yeah.
you
So you're
know,
doing that too.
yeah, and people were tuning
Getting
into
all
this
these-
one not just live, but after the fact.
Yeah.
We're getting views after the fact, and I'm amazed that this actually interests anybody. I don't go back and watch the shows. And I was just 2 weeks ago, I was talking to Josh Grant, who him and John Brown, they did. It wasn't on. I don't think it was on YouTube. It was on Facebook, Arm Wrestling Worldwide, and he's never gone. But they've done like well over 100 shows. He's not gone back and watched any of them.
Right. Oh yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and I'm in the same boat. I don't go back and watch.
No.
I rambled.
We were here.
I just rambled on for an hour. Do you think I want to hear that again?
I do tell him though that story time is an interesting thing. He's got all these stories from all these trips and all these people, but he doesn't think people are interested in it. So I'm the only one that gets to
You get to hear them, yeah. Or when we're sitting around having a beer or two at a nationals.
Yes,
we
you start to
sit around,
reminisce.
yeah, and you tell stories.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's some of the most fun times I've had.
Yeah.
And it's not just about arm wrestling, and I understand that, and it's not just about talking about arm wrestling, but it's hanging out with
Yeah.
I've made lifelong friends
Yes.
from going to arm wrestling tournaments, and I understand it's my thing. It's not Janice's thing, so I don't.
I'm
Some,
attached.
no, yes, and you know way more about arm wrestling than you probably ever wanted to know.
Yes.
But yesterday I got her to come, and she handled the live stream for me yesterday. And I mean, she does produce this show every Sunday night. And she always knows she can watch my channel because I don't post injuries, so she can always feel safe. And then if there was an injury, I come home and tell her that we had somebody get injured, and
Yeah.
but
And I do your research and I critique your work.
yeah, when I'm having to make thumbnails, how does this look? How does this look? Here, what I just finished editing a video with Trevor Weatherby and Dylan Courier, and I said I need 4.5 minutes of your time. Come and sit down and watch this video. So then I leave the room so she can watch the video and get her opinion. And is the music too long? Is this too long? And whatever. So
Everybody needs feedback from no
yeah,
matter what you're doing.
no,
All right. You want to round it out then?
yeah, I will.
Sign off.
So right now, it is not in the plan to do a live show next Sunday. What I am doing is Friday afternoon, I'm going to drive up to Moncton. The Hub City Hitmen guys out of Moncton are having a practice on Friday evening, I guess. I'm going to go up, shoot some of their practice, talk with some of the guys up there. I'll probably come home, edit that on Saturday, because you're going to be out Saturday or something, you said? Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday. Oh, Saturday evening.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll come home.
You're still going to be up there all day long.
Oh yeah, so I'll come home, edit, put that together, and then we'll do a premiere of that show on next Sunday. I think right now is what I'm thinking in my head. I don't know if I can pull that off or not. The timing is pretty tight
Yeah.
on that one. If not, we'll just have to have Janice think up some more silly questions to ask me, and we'll talk. Or
Keep the time slot open.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, hopefully we'll get a little bit of feedback in the comments. Tell me what you're interested in. do you honestly think I should continue with the live show, or just doing a tape delayed show is going to be fine? Because you'd be able to watch it and you'd still be able to have your live chat there.
Right.
It would
It
just
takes the pressure off.
Well, it takes the pressure off the equipment that doesn't work half the time that we
Yes.
want it to, right?
Just, yeah. And then you could capture it anytime and just show it at that time.
Yeah,
On Sunday evenings.
whenever it is that I want. But
You could travel around. We still have to go visit Captain Phil.
yeah, I just talked to Phil yesterday
Yeah.
at the tournament though, and he said just give me the date and we'll make it happen. I don't think that's going to happen until after we get back from the Ottawa trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that won't be live, right?
Well,
You could.
it is possible. It could be.
Oh,
We could do it. We could possibly do it live from his place.
okay.
It is possible, or it may just be better off
Gives
just.
me palpitations just
Yeah,
thinking.
I know. But
What will go wrong next? Anyway.
nothing else could go wrong except for the shit that has gone wrong, right? But I think look,
Okay.
we're way over
Yeah.
already.
Look at that.
Yeah, I can't believe I rambled on for an
Yeah.
hour. And
I can.
yes, but I don't like to sit in my office by myself and talk to a camera.
Right.
I do not like to do that. I find it very difficult. But as we have just heard, again, I can ramble on for minutes and minutes and
Yeah.
minutes. But that's all the time. We're going to wrap this up now
All right.
because that's all the time that we have.
Thanks,
I,
everybody.
I will continue getting out the Battle Atlantic. I'm hoping to have that all edited and this week. Will I get it all posted this week? I don't have an answer, but I'm going to do my best to get 2 to 3 clips a day posted up there and give myself a little bit of a breather in between this tournament and going to Ottawa.
Yep.
Then when I get home, of course, I know Eric's planning 3 tables running all damn day. So that's going to be another whack of footage. And who knows what's going to happen when you got Uncle John, Evan Burgoyne, the beer man,
Yes.
Devin Larratt, and
Yes.
possibly John Milne, all in the same room at the same time.
Wow.
What's Uncle John's word? Shenanigans. Shenanigans. So
Yes.
who knows what's going to happen when they're all together. But I appreciate you giving up an hour of your time, or an hour and a bit, whatever it's been. And that's...
Time to push the button.
Oh, you go push the button this time. Thanks, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk to you again soon.
Where?
I don't know. Try the 3 dots down the bottom. Nope. Hit the X.